Alright, sorry I had to go. Usually cuts off at like 30, but I cut it off a little early because I had to take a shit. So, as I was saying, well, I don't actually really remember what I was saying, but something about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, yeah, I just like the pacing of it and the characters and the relationship between the characters and just I don't know. I just like it, you know? It has a lot of charm to for me. Um yeah, and figure I'll show you some stuff. So they always come with these things and it just kind of hooks on there. It's not something you really put on it. Like it doesn't it'll fall off and I don't want to have to like take it off every time I open it. So I just keep it separate. But here's the inside. You can even see that. And it came with I don't know if you've seen the movie, but the Leonardo DiCaprio's character has who is a movie star, has a Mad magazine of his character in his show inside the movie. Um, and they included it. It's a smaller version, but they included it in this edition, and it's pretty funny. I remember when I was pretty young, in like sixth grade, I would read some of the old Mad magazines because my grandparents have a big stockpile of them, and I liked a lot of those. I'll have to check some of those out next time I go up to visit because I remember they were pretty funny actually. I also came with a poster, and I will quickly unfold that for you, y'all. Rip it. Look at that. Yep. Whoops. Yeah, it's cool. And this digital copy I'm not going to show. And look at this. It's got his autograph. The character's autograph. Ain't that something? And it comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K. And it also has this vinyl record for the soundtrack. It's I haven't listened to it yet. I have a record. Well, my parents have a record player. I haven't played it yet though, but I'm sure it plays well. It's brand spanking new. Um, yeah, good movie. I'm glad it was made. Um, that's one I wouldn't mind rewatching soon. Actually, I think it was like July it came out. It's been a good probably 5 months. No, 4 months since I've seen it. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that happens. Where the movie just appeals to you like that. Um, yeah. I reckon I'll show you some other stuff I got, but in the meantime, I'll talk about some other movies. So, yeah, I watched a lot of horror movies in October, um, and November because I had some overlap. I watched all the Friday the 13th movies, and whoa, I just lost my balance just standing on my feet. I also watched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Except for there's a remake of each of those series, and I haven't watched those yet, but I've watched all the other ones, and most of them are pretty shitty. Well, okay, Nightmare on Elm Street, that franchise is better as a whole than Friday the 13th. There's almost no, like, really good Friday the 13th movies, none that I particularly enjoyed except for Jason Goes to Hell, which I thought was fun as fuck. It was like a straight up action movie or something. I don't know. They did good. They did good on that one. And then they fucked it up in the next movie. So, I mean, hey. And I think that was Jason X. So that one just didn't. That's just non canon, I think, honestly. It just doesn't really fit anywhere in the timeline. Not that it matters, because those movies kind of suck anyway, but it was worth watching because they're cultural, they're big in our culture, you know. And I'd never seen them before. I never watched many slasher movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, it's like the first three are good, especially the third one, which is called Dream Warriors. And the next two suck, but then the sixth one, I think, I forget. No, yeah, it's the sixth one. The sixth one is it's not much better, but it's quite silly, but it's fun. It's kind of like the Jason Goes to Hell. It's more fun, you know. And then I think after that is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which I can appreciate that it's a well-made movie, but I didn't like it. I watched like half of it and just got bored because it was just like Scream, but with Nightmare on Elm Street people. So, I mean, and I didn't like Scream, the first two movies, and I didn't watch any of the other ones because I didn't like the first two. I don't really like the whole meta kind of humor kind of thing. I don't like Deadpool, you know. I don't like a lot of that stuff. Deadpool, Scream, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Uh, Freddy vs. Jason was alright though, but I don't know. I don't know. I did watch this one um, by the director Park Chan-wook, who is a Korean, I believe he's Korean, South Korean director who directed a movie adaptation of the manga Old Boy, and that movie surpasses the quality of the manga and is actually regarded as one of the best movies ever, and I can agree with that. It's phenomenal. There's one of the best fight scenes ever, even better than the one in They Live. Though I don't know, I might enjoy the one in They Live better, but this one's definitely better than the one in that movie. Better movie overall than They Live, but I don't know. I don't know if I like this more or less than They Live, but it was remade like probably like 5 or 6 years ago by Spike Lee, and it infamously bombed, and they like I don't think Spike Lee wrote it. Whoever wrote it missed the point of that movie. I haven't seen the remake, and I don't want to, but I've seen enough reviews of it to know that it's a piece of shit. But the director of the original movie, he has this movie called Thirst about a priest who becomes a vampire, and it is fucking phenomenal. I'm not. I'm of the opinion that you should go into movies with the least amount of knowledge about the plot or whatever as possible. Um, which of course is a bit of a kind of a contradiction or whatever, you know, because I like talking about this stuff on here. So, and I'm sure you guys, I mean, I don't have a lot of viewers really, which, I mean, I'm glad about that, honestly, but, it's like, I don't know how many of you guys have the same standard, you know? And it's not like a standard, like if I know something about a movie, I won't watch it. It's just, I prefer going into it pretty much blind. Um, like maybe I'll know an actor in it, or the director or writer or something, or, you know, but, and then that may inspire me to check it out, and then I just won't really read about it. I'll just go into it blind. Because then, I find that it's, I'm better, I'm better, I better enjoy, I enjoy it better. Yeah, um, there's another one he made called Stoker, which, is also fucking phenomenal. All three of those movies, Old Boy, Thirst, and Stoker, are fucking phenomenal. I want to watch his other movies. Um, like I was, especially those last two, I was, I was into it every minute of the way. Honestly, it was amazing. They are in well, Stoker is in English, but the other two are in Korean, so you're gonna have to use subtitles. Or I don't know if there's an English dub, and it probably is. Speaking of that, there's I don't know, I saw this the scene in The Dark Knight with the Joker getting interrogated by Batman, but it was the Japanese dub, and it was pretty cool. I saw it on YouTube, so yeah, good movie though, very good movie. Haven't watched that in about a year. Um, yeah, speaking of that, yeah, I don't know, and it's better than I'm not rewatching a whole lot because I don't know, I'm branching out my horizon. It's not like I'm never gonna rewatch these movies. Like I didn't even watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles this Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, it's like I watch it pretty much every other Thanksgiving, but it's okay to miss once in a while. That's why it's every other and not every single Thanksgiving. Um, um, I'll show you some stuff I bought. This was actually given to me. It was a copy of Hail Caesar, which is a Coen Brothers movie. It's pretty good, but not as amazing as their other stuff. The thing with that movie is there's not as much substance, not as much, not as big a plot, but it's still really good. But not what I'd recommend to new Coen Brothers fans or people just getting into them. Um, yeah. Another gift, Army of Darkness on Blu-ray, which I didn't already own, but I had the first two. Army of Darkness it's got a lot of animatronics in it. I haven't seen that in like a year either, but it's good. It is good. And so I'm jumping on the new 4K thing. I don't have a 4K TV yet or whatever, because I mean I don't have a lot of money, but can't be buying new TVs left and right. Um, but I have been getting some of the new Best Buy exclusives for these new Steelbook releases. And when Princess and the Frog one was released, I went and bought that one. Here it is right here. And I bought a few others. This one, so I haven't watched any of these yet. I haven't really watched any 4K stuff yet. The reason I'm jumping on it is because I'm someone who appreciates uh, good quality. You know, if it looks good, I like it. So like a lot of bad movies, even if they're really bad movies, at least if they at least look cool or something, I give credit for that. And The Princess and the Frog, that's one of the ones that I haven't rewatched because I mean I've rewatched it before, but I haven't seen it since like middle school. And back a couple years ago, I started rewatching all the Disney animated movies, and I missed this one, and also um, some of the old, really one of the some of the there's like three. There's the Brer Rabbit one. I think Song of the South is what it's called. There's Saludos Amigos, and there's the one with it's like three vignettes of old West stories, I think. And there's also Beauty and the Beast that I didn't rewatch, and Pete's Dragon, even though it's kind of a mix. It's not completely animated. In fact, it's mostly live action. But and there were a few that I'd never seen before, like Home on the Range. I never heard of it before even looking at their long filmography. But yeah, I do like this one though. It's cool. Um, I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot in terms of the plot, like in terms of specific stuff. But I do remember some specifics. I remember liking the villain's song sequence. I liked a lot of the music. I remember just liking it overall. I remember I saw it in the theater with my family when it came out. I think in like 2010, and it was good. John Goodman's in it, but yeah. While I was there getting that from Best Buy on the day of its release, I also got the Ratatouille Steelbook, also in 4K. Not only is this my favorite Pixar film, but it's one of my favorite movies in general. Um, it's uh, this is one I feel like I could rewatch anytime, which, as I've explained earlier, for me that's something special. I haven't rewatched it yet though, since buying it. I might wait till I get a 4K TV. I might just watch the Blu-ray, but you know. And yeah, I like the steelbooks. 'Cause you know what? Plastic isn't even, it's not good for the earth or for us really, but yeah. Steelbooks are just cooler, just nice. Um, I don't know. It's not the end of the world if I can't get the steelbook for some stuff, but I don't know. There's some ones that were Best Buy exclusives that they weren't there. Oh, and there's two others. I better show you those real quick. So I also got the Finding Nemo one. That's one that's awesome. I'm sure most of us like Finding Nemo. Um, and one that I like more than most probably like. I got the Cars one. And for me, Cars might be my second favorite Pixar movie, honestly. The reason I like that movie is because, well, there's many reasons. And yeah, I think that would be in at least my top 50. Cars would. Ratatouille, no question about that. But Cars, a little bit uncertain about where it would be placed, but probably in my top 50. Though I don't really like ranking movies like of all time kind of thing, but yeah, Cars. I just like the well, I saw it when I was in like kindergarten or maybe first grade, and it was overplayed for me as a kid. Because I remember we would watch movies at school sometimes for like when we're approaching the holidays, and they just have us watch movies and do whatever the fuck. And I was so annoyed that it was like so many times we'd be shown Cars, and I got kind of sick of it as a kid. But I've gone back to it a few times, and I've always enjoyed it. And I really like that well, for one thing, I really like the music, you know. The music fits. I remember, it's something nostalgic. Like I'm just remembering all that music from when I was a kid. And I like the the design of that world, especially out in the desert. Like that all just brings back fond memories for me. And I don't know, it's just enjoyable. I don't know. I should probably think of some better adjectives, but yeah, it's one that I personally just find entertaining the whole way through. Um, just it's a good movie. I don't like the sequels. I did see both sequels. I didn't see the Planes movies. I don't want to see the Planes movies. Um, yeah, the story for me begins and ends with that movie. Um, the sequels aren't completely terrible, but it's just I didn't like how much they built the world in the second one. I don't know. The thing, the first one was more. I liked that it was in a small town out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't like how they made it like it's just too much people or too much cars everywhere in the second one and the third one. The third one wasn't as bad as the second one, but you know, not one I'm going to be rewatching at least anytime soon. Who knows, really? Anyway, what else I gotta talk about? Oh yeah, there's a couple of those steelbooks that weren't at Best Buy, and I don't know if they're like out of stock completely. If they are, and I can only get it on eBay, and it's like super expensive, then I'll just get the normal ones. But there was Blade Runner 2049, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Fifth Element, and The Wizard of Oz. Those four I wanted to get the steelbooks, the 4K steelbooks, but they weren't there. And I don't know if they'll ever be there. If not, I'll check eBay or something. If not that, then I'll just get the standard release. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I just like the aesthetic of and the feel of the steelbooks. And probably better for the environment too. I don't know if I've ever showed this though. I got this back when it came out in like October. The 4K steelbook of The Shining. Another great movie that I haven't watched in about a year. Yeah. You guys gotta tell me, how do you guys rewatch movies? I don't know if I'm the only one. And, yeah. I have to think of some other stuff to talk about. I've been thinking of some new, Bob is a Villain video ideas, continuing the story. if I didn't already say this before, I'm kind of basing that format from the last video on that channel on the Marble Hornets format. That's why it's called entry number 2, because it's technically the third, honestly, in that saga, whatever. But yeah, me and Jesse had some stuff in mind, and I'll just have to expand on that so that I can actually make something come into fruition. Um, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something to talk about because I'm not ready to stop talking. I I don't know. I've planned for this December in terms of movies. I have a bunch of Christmas specials I wanted to watch. A bunch that I used to watch as a kid. Bunch of Rankin Bass stuff with mainly the stop motion, but there's a few animated ones that they have. There's Frosty the Snowman, and I think the sequel was also animated. But yeah, a lot of those I remember being really good. They also did The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. They did some adaptations that were I remember being really good, especially The Hobbit. A lot better than the Peter Jackson ones, in terms of The Hobbit at least. I don't remember the Lord of the Rings Rankin Bass ones as much. Mainly The Hobbit, because that's one that I used to watch a lot as a kid. But yeah, I've been meaning, like, once I finish Harry Potter, I'm gonna go on to Lord of the Rings. Well, The Hobbit, then Lord of the Rings. So basically, I'm gonna read the book, then watch the Peter Jackson trilogy of it, then the Rankin Bass movie, because I don't want to watch the Rankin Bass one first, because it's the better one. So I want to go off on a higher note. Then I'll read Lord of the Rings. Then watch probably the Rankin Bass ones first. Then the Peter Jackson ones, because I loved those Peter Jackson ones as a kid. I would watch at least the first two nonstop. And the first two because they're long ass movies. I'd watch the extended editions. Um, they're long. So I couldn't always get to all three of them, but the third one's definitely great too, honestly. Um, I'm excited, honestly, to be watching those again because I haven't watched them since middle school. Um, but I also want to read the Chronicles of Narnia again and watch at least the first three movies that they made. Um, yeah, they never made any more. I don't know why. It was never like one of my favorites. I don't know. Maybe it was. But yeah, I remember I have fond memories of being read those books to me as a kid, and they were good. Even if they were a bit religious in retrospect, but I don't mind. Um, oh, and I also, for so long, I've wanted to read True Grit because I really like the Jeff Bridges version of the movie, and I never saw the John Wayne version. So what I'm gonna do is read the book, then watch the John Wayne version, and then I'll watch the Jeff Bridges one again. But yeah, I hear both versions of the movies are great, but I don't know. I guess I'll be the judge of that. Um, looks like I'll be cut off in a few seconds, but I'm glad we could have this chat, and always good to get in the mood to be talking this. Say goodbye, Jesse.